What's up everyone, my name is Michael and welcome to Box Mining Daily. So today I have quite a lot to tell you. First of all, we're starting off with the market analysis and I'm going to talk a little bit about the Neo FUD hype as well. So I've been looking into this a lot and I just want to talk about a little bit of the patterns of this FUD hype cycle as well. We also have Bitcoin Gold, their response to the My BTG wallet scam, and of course I'm not very happy about this situation. We also have some businesses in Hong Kong, they're reporting bank closures or bank account closures rather on their business accounts. So this is something that is quite big and will affect cryptocurrency communities in the future as well. And I want to relate that to the Tether Bitfinex FUD as well. So I'm just talking a lot about the kind of advantages and disadvantages of Tether because it's becoming a very heated topic right now. So I do want to say that everything covered here is my personal opinion and not financial advice. So let's start off with the cryptocurrency market cap first of all. So we have Bitcoin charging all the way back past 8,000 again. So this is something of a continuous rally. You know, last week we were maybe thinking, yeah, SegWit2x was pushing this Bitcoin rally. Bitcoin was high in value because of this upcoming fork that's going to give us a 1-to-1 ratio of Bitcoin and SegWit2x. We did see, of course, SegWit2x blow up in spectacular fashion. I think a lot of people are hoping that it will still give them coins. But the problem was that the client, of course, was faulty and it crashed 2 blocks prior to the SegWit2x fork. So even if people wanted to continue to fork, despite the leaders quitting, they basically couldn't because, well, the client was broken. And it's important to remember that this is something that's very important. You can never not test out your code. But anyway, so that's out of the window now. Now Bitcoin is still rallying at its kind of all-time high right now, $8,036. So we're really pushing the limits of Bitcoin here, and it's just phenomenal how much it's been growing this past whole year. It's not at its absolute all-time high. We've seen 8,100, but crossing 8,000 is quite important. There's definitely a lot of things coming with ETFs, with futures, and with different trading tools for Bitcoin as well. So maybe the bankers are interested in this coin, but that's also going to bring a lot of volatility as well, potentially, because with all futures, there comes to a point where it might benefit people to FUD a coin or to hype something. So that's something to watch out in the future. We're going to experience very volatile markets in the future as well. We have Ethereum holding pretty much steady for the whole day. And we do have some coins on the rise. Bitcoin Cash, Rogers pushing it again. Of course, Ripple and Litecoin and Dash are just holding steady. Neo is dropping a little bit. So I'm going to talk about this FUD hype cycle that Neo's been experiencing in this next section. With the rest of the cryptocurrencies, we do see up and downs for different coins. So this is pretty much a normal day in the cryptocurrency world. Apart from the fact that, of course, cryptocurrency is different from everything else in the sense that things go up by 10-20% and down by 10-20% a day. So I guess we're kind of used to that by now. We do see Power Ledger 89% growth today, and that's because of some recent announcement between them working with India. It seems that's kind of where my research has got to. It seems like they are kind of expanding their technology, and I will try to do a review on them soon. Other notable growths today are the Raiden Network, Eternity, and Civic, and also Bitcoin status all pushing above 10%. And I do want to say right now, we have the cryptocurrency market cap at $239 billion, which is pretty much an insane figure if you think about how much crypto has grown over the past year. So let's talk a little bit about Neo as well. Neo has got a lot of people very interested in Chinese cryptocurrency and the alternative to Ethereum. One funny thing about Neo is right now it's going through this kind of battle between people who are very excited for it and people who are very not excited for it. And it seems like they're going on very extreme ends, and that's where the term FUD, fear, uncertainty, doubt, and also hype comes in. So, or FOMO, fear of missing out. So we see these terms used a lot in cryptocurrencies, and we definitely see these forces at play with a coin like Neo. So with the Neo, they had a 3 days of announcement. So that was what really pushed it. And I was saying that it really led a huge rally. I mean, if you look at it the past 7 days, Neo took off from around $29 all the way to $47 almost. So that's crazy. But then it got brought shot down by negative news. And this is something that we do see in cryptocurrencies a lot, especially when we see articles that are very, very polarized. So recently there was this article that came out on store value. People were saying that this is on GitHub, but of course GitHub allows you to publish articles. So this is actually more precisely store of value, a cryptocurrency blog. And they talk about a few points that they didn't like about NEO. And I want to say that a lot of times when articles come out, it's in the media's best interest to create a very strong polarized view. So instead of asking a question, is NEO centralized, they might go and kind of sway an opinion and say NEO is incredibly centralized and that is bad. So I do want to take this with a grain of salt. So usually when I read news like this, I do try to sway back and say, okay, let's learn a little bit more about this. These are all questions that are good to ask. Let's find out what is the real truth. Obviously, every time an article is written, there is a motive and objective behind it. So then, of course, we got to take their facts and analyze it. So there's both boom and bust. I've been trying to talk a little bit and balance the opinions on NEO. NEO is definitely an interesting coin to talk about. And there's a lot of different technological differences from Ethereum. So I think one of the videos that I want to do and talk about in the future is how the technology differences and from Ethereum and everything. I do want to say, of course, that now this is a big cycle that we have. FUD, hype, and a lot of people have a lot to gain from this. So if you are doing your independent research, it's important to kind of try to look at the facts. So next up, I have the MyBTG wallet scam. So this was something that brought up yesterday. So yesterday there was a user on Reddit who posted they downloaded MyBTG wallet, they put in their private key and their funds got stolen. So this might be a scam wallet. So what makes a scam wallet? Well, scam wallets have malicious bits of code that might even steal your private key, basically what keeps your account safe. This is a thing you need to guard at all times. And if they steal that, that means they can take control over your account and start sending cryptocurrency to wherever they want. So this is the ultimate hack, so to speak. So one thing that was happening was that MyBTG wallet was listed on the Bitcoin Gold official website, and they came out with a community report and said, well, yeah, when we receive verified reports that the website has a problem, we removed it from our site. This is something that I'm actually quite not happy about, and I think this is something that needs to really be kind of rigorously studied in the cryptocurrency community, which is when you put a wallet on your website, you really got to verify that this is legit, because in a sense, by putting it on your official website, you're guiding users towards it. And the problem is if that wallet has basically code that is malicious and like a virus on it that will steal your private key, that's a big problem. You're basically pushing your users towards a potential scam. So here, yes, I know that they issued a statement to say, yeah, we take care of it, but they should have done beforehand. They should have really taken time to verify code on that wallet. And it's something that's very, very hard to do. This is why there aren't that many popular wallets out there. And I think it's important to remember that if you do use something like this, you got to be very, very careful, because the moment you enter your private key into anything, that might compromise that private key and potentially wreak havoc. So this is why we have Ledger Nano S's, where the private key never leaves the device, so you never have to put that private key into a program and have that stolen. Or we have Trezor. So I got my new Trezor here. Hardware wallets are important because the private key doesn't leave the device, so it won't be stolen by hackers or vulnerable to this type of scam. But this is just the worst thing I can think of, just losing your money when you're sending Bitcoin Gold to an exchange. So one thing that recently happened in Hong Kong is that Hong Kong banks have frozen the bank accounts of a few businesses that are running Bitcoin related businesses in Hong Kong. So one of the exchanges, Gatecoin, has their bank accounts frozen and they couldn't transfer money in or out and just receive money. So this is quite catastrophic, even though they tried to work with the regulators and the banks. And that was one of the kind of main key points of Gatecoin, was that they were trying to work with the regulators doing their Know Your Customer KYC and AML, anti-money laundering. They still got their accounts frozen without much of an explanation. So this seems to be happening in Hong Kong right now. And this does disrupt exchanges, because if they have their accounts frozen, they can't send or receive money and send that to their clients. So this is a big issue. And it is something that we're going to experience. I mean, the fiat world is controlled by the central banks, and they have central authority over everything, and they can close accounts without issues. We've seen that happen in Bitfinex in the past as well, where they had an issue with Wells Fargo, and Wells Fargo suspended a few of their bank accounts. So these are big issues in the cryptocurrency space, and it's going to be the source of a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt. So I'm going to relate this to Bitfinex as well, because there's a lot of talk about tethers right now. So tethers, or Bitfinex safes are very closely tied to Bitfinex. So Tether, even though they're a separate company, has a lot to do with Bitfinex. If you trust Tether, then Tether is meant to represent a $1 deposit in Bitfinex. So with that, you can trade it and feel like have the comfort of knowing that you have $1, but in a tradable form, basically in crypto form. The thing is, of course, a lot of trust is placed on a few central authorities. And I think this is very important, because in crypto, there's a lot of talk about trustless. There's talk about, making sure that this is claimable. But I think it's important to note that Tether as a tool, you're trusting a lot of central authorities. You're trusting Bitfinex that they're not operating on a fractional reserve. Basically, they're issuing out tethers, and they have exactly one $1 for every tether they have issued. This is a trust thing. And the thing is, of course, there's a lot of people who have suspicion on that, and rightfully so. I mean, even with banking systems nowadays, even if there are audits, there can be ways to kind of counteract those audits. So there's always a lot of suspicion placed upon Tether, and there's a lot of power granted to one authority. And that's why there's so much fear, uncertainty, and doubt over it. This is why a lot of people question it. And if you're in crypto, you should always question everything. This is one of the things I do really strongly encourage. Do multiple sources of research, and try to research this to the fullest, because of course at the end of the day is your assets, and you want to make sure that you yourself are guarding that safely. We do have an ongoing discussion about Tether in the box mining community forums. I would love to hear what you guys have to say about it, and if you guys are concerned about using Tether at all. I'd like to thank you guys so much for watching this episode. Remember to subscribe to this channel to be updated with the most recent videos, and of course click the little notification bell to get notified when new videos are released. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you next time.